So, hello everyone. Welcome to Moms Living the Dream Life, how to raise a happy family while building the business of your dreams. My name is Sophia Makris and I'm the host. And the reason I'm putting this interview series together is because I want to empower moms to say yes to their dreams, that it is possible to raise a happy family and build your dream business and say yes to your dreams. And for that reason, I interviewed 21 amazing mompreneurs that are making it happen. And they are sharing their journey and how they did it with you because they want it for you too. So today I have with me the amazing mompreneur, Kelli Calabrese, is a 32-year health, fitness, and wellness professional. She is the #1 Amazon bestselling author and mom and dadpreneurs, strategy, stories, and tips from top achievers in family and business. She is an executive with Isagenix International, helping to launch a new app called Deputize America to improve the safety of the company, is on a new TV show called Success Sisters, runs a personal training studio called Divine Health, and loves to speak and write on all topics related to entrepreneurship, personal development, and wellness. If I said something wrong, Kelli, and you want to correct me, go ahead and do it. Thank you so much for being here today and sharing your journey with us.
It is my pleasure. I am happy to do it. I love this.
Thank you, Kelli. You're amazing. You're amazing. So, Kelli, I would love to ask you first, let's begin with how it all began. Like what influenced you and what made you say yes to what you're doing right now?
Yeah. So when I was 13, I was always someone who wrote in her diary and her journal. And when I was 13, I wrote in my journal, I will be an exercise therapist. I will marry a man 10 years older than me. I will have 2 children. I will own health clubs. I will speak in Europe. I will drive a Mercedes Benz. I wrote all these things. I will build my own house. And every one happened. And so I always loved to work. I knew my heart was to help people be healthy. So I went to school. I got 3 college degrees. I opened up a chain of health clubs. I had 4 health clubs. I had 9 corporate fitness centers. I was running a school, preparing people to become certified fitness pros. And being the person who plans everything out, I decided that when I was 30, that I was going to start having children. And by then we were married 7 years. So it was good timing. And I just thought, well, I'm just going to drop him off in daycare. I'm just going to keep going right back to work. And I had hundreds of employees and thousands of members. And it was my heart. It was my spirit. It was who I was. I love for people to be healthy. And so when Nicholas was 6 weeks old, I brought him to the steps of the daycare, and I looked into those big brown eyes, and I went back into the car, and I called my husband, and I said, there's going to be another way. I don't know what exactly that is in this moment, but I am going to figure it out. I am not going to be laying this child down in a crib in a daycare center. So I went home, and thankfully my partner was able to buy me out. And I was pregnant right away with my daughter. They're only a year apart. So it happened kind of quickly. I had one in the bassinet, one in the belly, and I just started to figure out, this was 18 years ago. So we didn't have everything we have today with technology and apps and, just the internet was kind of just getting going. So I started writing and speaking and consulting and editing and doing spokesperson and media work. And I became a fitness expert for some online companies. And I just started to get creative about what can I do and still be home most of the time, but still contribute to my industry on a really high level, but also have the freedom and the flexibility and the lifestyle to be here to raise my baby. So it was that moment on the steps of the daycare. And I just, those big brown eyes, I was like, I can't do it.
Oh my God. That is an amazing story. You're going forward, only saying yes constantly. That is amazing. That is amazing. And so did you face fears, obstacles when you decided to be there has to be another way?
Well, I was used to, kind of executive pay. I had a good income. I had a housekeeper. I had, and you're like, well, I'm completely relying on myself. I'm starting from scratch. I don't have support. I don't have maybe all the skills that I need to make this work, but I knew my commitment was high. And I knew I was an expert in my field and that I would figure it out. And, of course, looking back, I made mistakes and, I stayed in some things too long and some things took a little bit longer to figure out than I would have liked. And, of course, there's lots of bumps and bruises along the way. But I just kept seeking, looking for ways to figure it out. I just kept putting myself out there. And one of the very first things I did was I was reading a magazine and it talked about weight loss on the web. And they were talking about diets. And I was like, well, I'm going to write all these companies and just say, hey, I love what you're doing with dieting online. Have you ever thought about fitness online? Here's my resume. If I can help, let me know. And all 3 companies wrote back and said, when can you start? I was like, okay, I just have to keep being progressive. I have to get in front of people. I have to build something amazing. So yeah, there's leaving the familiar, leaving change, leaving security. And I loved what I did. I mean, I built it for 14 years. It was my soul. We built it from scratch. So your identity is changed. Now you're this mom and, you're not sleeping and you've got, spit up on your shoulder. And,
Yes.
The glamour is gone and, and the titles are gone and you need to be your biggest encourager. You need to be your own support system.
Exactly. Because that was one of my issues. Like before I had the family, before I became a mom, I was saying like, yes to my dreams, following my heart. And I was like a go-getter, no fear whatsoever. Like I just followed my heart and said, okay, there's something more for me. But then when I became a mom, it's like all of a sudden, like I started playing safe. I started playing small. As you said, I was putting everyone else's needs first. That was like for me. And I was like, okay, so I had to do something. I had to decide to change. So to make it happen, I didn't want this life for my kids. I wasn't happy because I wasn't following my dreams, as you were like always pursuing your dream. And that's amazing. That is amazing. Did you have support? Like, was your husband very supportive of all this? Did you do it together or was it by yourself?
He was. So yes, he's always been very adoring and supporting. And, I can remember I'd be up with the babies all night long, every 2 hours. And then on the weekends, he would let me sleep and just, getting that sleep was awesome. And he'd give me a day on Saturday and he'd just take the kids out for a few hours and give me a chance to really, get ahead on my business and work on the important and urgent things. And I always knew I had that time on Saturday. And at the same time, his niece had a baby and she didn't want to go back to work. So we hired her as a babysitter. And, he was the one that really made that suggestion to have family come in. And, I knew I had 4 hours a day, a couple days a week where she was going to come and the kids were going to play. And so he was very, very supportive. And, it's a challenging time because you're home with these babies and you want to work, but you want to be with them. And so you're calling him going, hey, what time will you be home? Can you come home early? And he's trying to go out and provide and do his thing. So it takes your marriage to the next level and, you're both developing and kind of figuring it out. But he, always a great dad, very hands-on. I mean, if he could have been a Mr. Dad and just stayed home with the kids, that would have been great. And in that season when they were little, he was out of the house working. But many times for the last 18 years, he's been able to work from home. And that's been incredible.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yes. So you could do it all from home and be with your family and do your business. So that's amazing because there is that guilt of, okay, I'm not working on my business and I want to work on my business, and you feel guilty because you're not working on your business or whatever your dreams are. And then when you're not with your kids, you feel guilty because you're not with your children. Okay. And your children need you. And I have like some issues with my boys because my boys are 10, 7, and my little girl is 2.5. So I do have issues with the older ones when they're like, okay, mom, again. And I try to, plan it ahead and inform them and tell them, let them know what's happening. And this, like, it's all going to change and it's not going to be this, rushing all the time or getting like working so hard all the time it's just the beginning. So so you had your husband. That's amazing. And did you guys like figure like make like a certain plans, like plan ahead like your schedule, or was it just like taking it day by day?
Yeah, as much as possible. Like I said, he always gave me Saturdays. He would let me sleep Friday and Saturday night, which was huge, just knowing I can get a good night's sleep and I could plan to be really productive because I knew, I'd be rested and my brain would be fresh and I could do that kind of stuff. So We did as much as possible, make sure we had, Sundays were always a family day, and Saturday was like his day with the kids, since I was mostly with him during the week. And so we made it work. Yes,
Oh,
you can't just leave it all to chance. As much as you need to be a little flexible and a little spontaneous, it helps to at least know when you're trying to get some business done and have quality family time that you have a plan.
yes, that's amazing. So I guess you had family time. So did you guys plan out a personal time, like you and your husband, date nights and stuff? Was that in the process when they were young?
Looking back, we're married 24 years. Looking back, almost 25. We could have been better about that. I mean, our priorities at least, did get out of order. It's very easy to put work first and the kids first, and then, you're kind of later down the road, but really you're doing your marriage an injustice. You're doing your kids an injustice because they're watching you as the example of marriage, but you're also raising kids who become entitled and ungrateful and just think they're the center of the universe. So, we were good about, taking vacations alone. We did do that every year that we got away. And my parents lived nearby, so they would always, take the kids for a few hours here and there. So we had time. But looking back, I would definitely say to couples, put your marriage before your parenting, because that time, it is about you. It's about reconnecting and, keeping that sexy going. And the divorce rate, at least in the US, is about 52% on first marriages and 64% on second marriages. Yes, it's horrific. So you need to be working that marriage, and kids really need to happy parents together, because it is so hard for these kids, and divorce is just really devastating. If you look at the statistics, higher suicide rates and depression and lower grades, and when that division happens, it's just not good. So thankfully we've made it 24 years. But looking back, I would tell any couple at whatever stage to make your marriage the priority.
Yes, and to 50 more years, Kelly, and to 100 more years to you. Yes, it is amazing. It's very important. We are the example. It's not what you say to the children. It's what you are and what you do every day. And they copy that. They copy paste that. And I truly believe that communication with your husband and with your children is like a must. When you stop communicating, I think that's when everything starts falling apart. When you start communicating your needs and what you want from life and how you feel, it's not like my husband. That's the thing with my husband. I don't know if you had that too. Like I guess women have that. Like, I want it now. I want to plan it out now. I want to tell you what's bothering me now. I want to figure it all out now, because I don't want it, I don't want to go to sleep at night and feel horrible. So, and all that, I do it for me, for my husband, for my family, for my children. That's beautiful, beautiful. And that's what I advise too for family, for couples, to put themselves first and communicate. And that's very amazing. And do you believe that it is important, since we put our relationship first, do we put ourselves first before that? Like, do we take care of ourselves as women?
Yeah, that's a good question. With my background in wellness, I remember the very first time I saw that wellness wheel, and there's all these spokes on the wheel, and there's personal development and, professional and financial and relational and social and marital, and there's parenting. And, we have so many roles. We're daughters, we're wives, we're sisters, we're volunteers. So we do wear a lot of hats, and self-care absolutely has to be that priority. And it becomes a delicate balance in there, but it's daily. Every single day, whatever that looks like for you, whether it's quiet time, reading, meditating, praying, journaling, exercising, something that you do for yourself, it has to happen daily. Otherwise, the mom gets lost, the mom gets stressed out, the mom's not going to feel good about herself, she can't think well, she doesn't respond well, emotional, worn out. It's just, you've heard happy wife, happy life. You need to be well physically, because if you're not, everything really goes downhill. You can't separate the mind, the body, and the spirit. And if one of those starts to go downhill, the others follow. And when the mom isn't well, mentally, physically, emotionally, relationally, it just that's what the kids are drinking from. They're drinking from what you're giving them. So if you're giving them someone who's empty, discouraged, exhausted, that's what your kids are receiving. So you need to be the light. You need to be the one who's rested and energized and feels good about herself, not the one who's medicated, exhausted.
Yes.
So it has to be high up there, even if it means waking up 30 minutes earlier, and you can, do your yoga, drink your alkalized water, put on your essential oils, whatever it is for you, figure it out and, take care of you every day.
Exactly. That's I love your energy. So you got to let us know how you do it. Do you eat like a certain way? Do you have a specific healthy diet that keeps you energized? Because we do need energy when it comes to that. So just eating anything that comes along, it doesn't help us with energy. The only thing I can do, because that's not my expertise, but I've noticed that whenever I eat salads and fresh fruit and stuff, I am full of energy. But when I eat my pasta or my meat or whatever, I'm like, I just want to take a nap.
Yes, so true. Well, the Mediterranean is definitely a great place to start. They just have the best diets in the world, the healthy fats and the fish and all the vegetables. And, it's just a great, great place to start. So cutting out all the processed things. And one of the things that I've been told from my clients lately has been the most helpful, especially in the US where everything is processed, we're overfeeding, just awful, is having a window of time to eat in. So that intermittent fasting where you push that morning breakfast a little bit later and then you have a cutoff at night. Because nighttime is typically, especially for the tired moms who maybe are up with babies and, just worn out, that's when they go to the kitchen and they just start unconsciously overfeeding. And it's usually not on blueberries.
Exactly.
That's when they're having the best choices. So yes, I use a nutrition superfood system that I supplement with. It is called Isogenics, which I mentioned earlier, which I'd be thrilled. I will do a 15-minute free consultation with anyone who hears any of your interviews.
Wow.
But I use, so for example, here's a hydrating drink that I'm drinking right now. And it has, twice the electrolytes of any other drink. It has some B vitamins. It's completely natural. But throughout the day, I'm drinking vegan protein shakes, greens. I do take a women's multivitamin. I do drink a little energy drink before my workout that has green tea and yerba mate, different adaptogens and berries. So, because we're busy, and honestly, I'm not the cook. My husband cooks. So if he's not here, he's traveling. Yes, it's amazing. I can just know that I can grab a vegan protein shake, or even I always have in my drawer right here a little bar, and you can see a piece of it is missing. Because throughout the day, I'm just breaking little pieces off. I don't eat the whole thing individually.
Exactly.
But yeah, like 3:00 when you just feel like, I just want a little something before dinner. So if I could, help the ladies, the moms pull one lever, a big lever that would change everything, it would be the nutrition. And once you get your nutrition right, then you're sleeping better, your acidity goes down, your stress goes down, your inflammation goes down, your hormones get regulated, your energy goes up, the fat burning, the metabolism. We could get you, I'm going to be 50 next year. I feel like I'm 27.
What?
So yes,
Wow.
those tired moms, that's what I specialize in. I work with the tired moms every day and get them to feel 10 years younger and have the energy to play with their kids and run around at any age. And so, yes, of all the different things that I could train on, if we could get nutrition right, that will just change their lives.
Wow. Kelly, we're going to talk about that later, personally.
Okay, good.
Amazing, Kelly. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so is there some more advice or you would want you can tell us, well, you've told us actually that moms can live their dream life, right? So they can raise a happy family. What is the connection actually with your children? Do you have date nights with your daughter and date nights with your son, or is it just family?
We do. So, two kids, two parents, sometimes we divide and conquer. So throughout the years, we've done everything from swimming, taekwondo, horse lessons. We've done, when I look back at the photos, I'm like, wow, we have been through so many activities, basketball, volleyball, baseball. And so, like this weekend, my husband was away with my son who was playing baseball in Houston, and I was with my daughter who was doing a rodeo in Fort Worth. So we'll have, those, and sometimes we'll swap. I'll go do the baseball and he'll go do the rodeo. And so we do that. I've done, long weekends with them where we'll do a mother-son, mother-daughter, and sometimes it's organized through, a retreat or a church group or something. And so we've enjoyed that. Sometimes I just drive around and I look at all the places that I have had dates with them. Like, oh yeah, I remember when we went here to eat and then we went to a movie. And so just driving around town, I have a lot of memories of the individual dates that we've had. And then we do a lot together as a family too. I mean, meals are important to us and we try and plan those as best as possible. But yeah, we love the one-on-one time. And, now that they're older, 17 and 18, right now my daughter is a week at a friend's lake camp. So I get time with my son. And actually my son and I are leaving for Nashville on Sunday to go to a nutrition conference for 3 days. So he is now a partner in my business. So because he's watched me and watched all the healthy habits and really employed those himself, he has a desire to be healthy and have an edge as an athlete. So he wants to come and learn about nutrition with me. So we're going to get to spend 4 days together in Nashville, and he'll get to meet my team and I get to introduce him to everyone. And so, yeah, they're a part of the business. They've watched me for so long, they can do what I do.
Wow. And they are the future. And that is amazing. That's amazing. Beautiful, beautiful. So do you want to share with whoever's watching about your gift?
Yeah, so actually I couldn't decide which gift. So we chose a few, which is great. A few months ago, I did a seminar for a group of women entrepreneurs, about 150 women entrepreneurs. And I came home from there and I got such great feedback. It was so impactful. I decided to record it. And while it was fresh in my head, I videoed it. So we made that available. And the topic was how to be more, do more, have more, and give more by doing less. I promise you, I'm not going to ask you to do more, but there's a way. I've studied personal development for 32 years. So there is a way that you can have more by doing less. So we have that training for them, and I hope everyone does watch that webinar. And then the other one, since I knew nutrition was probably going to come up and it's such an important topic, I did another training called Metabolism Makeover, where I walk through all the little things that you can do that add up to big things. It's a matter of swapping out some choices. Maybe what you're doing now isn't most excellent, but just a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of changing, a little bit of adjustment can have a tremendous difference in your physique, your energy, your detoxification, your sleep, your hormones, all of that. And then you mentioned the book earlier. It's called Mom and Dadpreneurs. And so this book is available on Amazon. I think you can download it for free if you have the Kindle. But I wrote this book to give hope to moms and dads. And I do tell my story in here, but I wanted not just traditional, mom, dad, 2 kids family, but I wanted single families, adopted families, blended families. So we have about 30 different stories of moms and dads who talk about that moment where they really drew the line in the sand, where they said, okay, having this job and having 2 parents possibly out of the home is not working. It's not how we want to raise and train and disciple and enjoy our family. And we don't want to have any regrets. And we're not quite sure what this might look like and how this is going to work, but we're willing to take that step of faith. And these are the ones who have done it. I mean, they're the super achievers in family and business. They're doing great things. Is it perfect? No. Is it a linear line to success? No. But you will read some, if not multiple stories in here where you go, wow, if she could do it, I could do it. If that immigrant can do it, I can do it. If that person who had a prison record could do it, I can do it. If that person who was divorced this many times or had this, history or bankruptcy or whatever, if they could do it, I could do it. So the book will really give you hope and maybe some business ideas as well. I mean, there's definitely some great stories in there. And what I do with the isogenics as well, there's opportunity. So if some mom is interested in the nutrition, we also, provide those solutions for weight loss, energy, performance, healthy aging. but the ability to earn income, helping the other tired moms also look and feel their best. So I'd be happy to help anyone with that, and just bring them on as a customer or a teammate.
Thank you so much, Kelli. You're so generous. Thank you so much, and for your energy and for all the information. And that's an amazing book, and it is possible for everyone. I truly believe that. So, and just it's really important to be surrounded by people that empower you, that have that energy and have that vibe, because that's the only way. Because if you're surrounded by people that do not go for their dreams, it sucks you up. So stick to the people that are full of energy and full of life. And if you say yes to your dreams, it's possible. Thank you so much, Kelli, for sharing all of this with us. And thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thanks, Sophia.
Bye.
Thanks, all the moms out there. You can do it.